Let us now discuss about getter and setter methods. Getter and setter methods are commonly used to either get a value or set a value, and these are just used because whenever we use private values within a method or within a constructor, we can use the getter and setter methods to access those values through an interface. The getter and setter methods act as interface for that private value. Getter and setter methods are a great way to implement or just represent encapsulation in Java. Encapsulation, in simple words, is nothing but wrapping up data into a single unit. Just remember that encapsulation is mixing up two things. Let's say, in the example Java, we encapsulate two things. Let's say the two things would be methods and let's say variables. These are two things that we encapsulate in Java. So we can see that this itself is what encapsulation is, a method and a variable. This, in simple words, is encapsulation. To access these, we are trying to make sure that no one can access these elements. So we have closed it off. Let's say this is a box that has been closed off and there is no way inside. To access these values or methods from certain value, we use the getter and setter methods. These getter and setter methods. These help in implementing the concept of encapsulation in Java. These act as an interface between the private value and the program we are trying to run. Let's check the program in a simple example. Let's remove the method and let's say a private, let's say a private int salary is equals to, let's say, 35. Now, let's use a setter method, public void set salary. Let's take int, for example, let's say count. Let's not use the same name as the salary. Let's just say count. And here, instead of defining it, let's just say it's 0. And remember that we should always initialize values. Here we have private in salary. And if we remove this, and we just have this, we'll see that there is a squiggle which just says it is not used, or let's just say it is better to initialize the value. Let's even with 0, let's just initialize every value. So because it's a private value, this means it has restricted access, meaning only specific within the class it can be accepted, but outside of the class it becomes protected. It is completely restricted from outside for the class. So for that we use the set salary. To change the value of the salary or the private salary, we use the setter method. Let's say, for example, let's just say salary is equals to the value count. Now we are making sure that the value that we are giving within the set salary becomes the salary value itself. So now let us now write a getter method, which is to call or to retrieve the data that we are storing within that private value. Let's say public int get salary. We don't really need to give any parameter for the get method, obviously. So let's do return, let's say salary. Now we can see that there is a private int salary within tester. So if we run the program, let's create an object for tester. Let's say tr is equals to new tester. Now if I take tr dot set salary is equals to, let's say the salary is 50,000. Now to print that, let's say tr dot get salary, and let's try and run the program. Let's clear our terminal and then let's run the program. So obviously there's no output because we have not used it within a system.out.println. Let's do it now. Let's just change this and let's just add a parenthesis here. Now, if I run the program, we can see the salary value has been changed to 50,000. So before, let's now try and do that before we have changed the salary or before we have uh, set salary. Let's do tr dot get salary. And if I run the program, we can see that the salary value is 0. It is 0 because we have initialized it with the value 0. The private value int salary is 0. Just remember that we are not directly accessing the salary value, which is this. Instead, we are giving the value count to that salary, and then we are trying to get that salary from by using the getter method. So now we can say that the getter method itself is just an interface between a private value or a private method and the program that we're trying to run. So these are getter and setter methods in Java. See you in the next one.